YouTube? Back at it again with the Mazda 3. And today we're going to be building the exhaust. So when I say building the exhaust, what I'm basically saying is I'm actually going to be cutting the muffler off and then having a pipe run from the back of the front of the car, where the muffler ends all the way out to the tailpipe area. So this will come off from this point right here. I'm going to cut somewhere like along right here or right here. And then I'm running a flexible exhaust repair kit. I'm going to clamp it down here. I'm going to run it up to about here. That's as long as it is. And then I have a 45-degree pipe that's going to come up to about right here. And then I have another flex pipe that's going to come over here. It's going to come around this attachment point, and then it's going to come out to the tailpipe end. So let's go ahead and review our supplies. So here are our supplies. As I described earlier, there's the flexible exhaust repair kit. So as you can see, the pipe will actually bend to whatever shape you want, and that's pretty nice, especially if you're not going to be welding. So what I'm going to be doing is connecting the 2-inch pipe to the point where I'm going to cut the muffler off on the exhaust. And then when it goes over the axle, I'm going to be using this 2 to 2.5-inch adapter, where I'm going to be connecting the 45-degree pipe. And then from there, I'm going to be connecting the 2.5-inch flex pipe out to the tailpipe end. And then I have a exhaust connector right here. This is 2.5 inch as well. And then this is going to attach to this. Now this is a muffler tip. This is DC Sports. I got it at the local parts store, just like everything else you see here. And I think this is going to dress up the exhaust real nicely. I almost went with black, but I think with the Sky Active badges and the Sky Active like theme of the car, I think the blue at the end with the chrome towards the when you're viewing the car, the front of the car, I think this is going to look really nice when it's all done. So let's go ahead and get started. So obviously when you're doing this job, you're going to need a tailpipe cutter of some sort. I actually rented this from the local auto parts store. Basically it's a big clamp with some blades around it. You fit it to size that you're going to cut the exhaust, and you just run it around back and forth. And then of course I'm going to recommend gloves and some form of eye protection. Alright, so I just got the pipe cut. So now it is time to figure out a way to remove the muffler. Alright, so the muffler is hung on by 4 points. So there's one right here, right by the tailpipe. Then there's 2 on this side, 1 and 2. And then the 4th one is, trying to find it. It's right up in here, so it's behind this part. That's going to be the most difficult one to remove. But I've already made progress on this one, just trying to figure out how exactly to get the hangers off. So let's go ahead and remove the rest. All right, so I just got the muffler off, as you can see. Now, unfortunately, I could not record exactly how I got the rubber bushings off, because there was no real way I could angle the camera to where you could see what I'm doing. So I'll go ahead and go under there and explain it to you. All right, so as you can see, these are the rubber hangers that hang the muffler onto its mount. And so what I did was I took a pair of these like plumber style pliers, and then what I did was, hold on, give it a minute. All right, so what I did was I would take one of these plumber style pliers, and I would have one end on one end of the bushing, and then the other end pushing up against the metal part of the mount right here. So basically what's happening is you got this end pushing up against the metal, and then you got the other end squeezing the rubber bushing piece, and then you just keep prying and pulling until you get it out, pretty much just like that. So it'd be like let's just pretend. So I would have, sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand. I would have one end up in there, and then the other, and then I would just squeeze and pull and pry until it came off. To help me out with that, I used some soapy water. I would, as I was squeezing it, I would take my other hand and spray some soapy water in there, let it saturate, and then kind of keep pulling on it until it slipped out. And I did that for all 4 points. Right over here. Pretty surprising how rusty this one is. And then, of course, the fun one up there. So yeah, now that the muffler is completely off, let's go ahead and pull it out. All right, so I just got the muffler off the car, as you can see. That was quite a tedious process, but at least it's off now. So we can finally start making more progress. So like I said, this was a pretty tedious process, and in the midst of it, I did some damage to the heat sinks over here. This is just broken off, and this got bent, which means this is easy. This might be a little more difficult, so I gotta try and figure out a solution on how to keep that on. I would just remove it, but this is the evap canister for the fuel system, and I'd rather not let that heat up too much. So we're gonna go ahead and try to figure this part out real fast before we start building. All right, so I got it to a point where at least it's on, and it should not go anywhere. And then at least when the exhaust runs up through here, it should cover up this box right here. Yeah, let's go ahead and now install the flex pipe. All right, I just got the first end on. Now let's go ahead and take care of the rest. Should be very straightforward from here on out. All right, so while putting this together, I did run into a couple of issues. First off, I needed to get another clamp for my adapter that's up here somewhere. So yeah, right here, right there. That is the 2-inch to 2.5-inch adapter, and I needed a clamp to go on the 2-inch side. So then I have that, and then I have this part. Now I needed some more material so that I could slide this in and couple up the next part of the pipe. So I cut off some of this off, and then I made a piece where I can fit this end in, clamp this down, and then fit the next flex pipe piece in so that everything can connect. Now that we have everything, let's keep on going. All right, so status update. So the previous exhaust hanger that I bought did not fit for whatever reason, so I ended up getting this one and coming up with a custom solution, sort of. So the kit I got came with a strap and some other hardware, not this, but this and that, but I couldn't find a way to hook it up. So I took the strap and took this piece from the kit and hooked it onto this big bolt that goes across the top, and it creates like a big hook. And then I'm going to bolt it up to this point on the chassis with another nut that I found laying around. But I've got all the other clamps on off camera. Just this one I just put on. I'm going to bolt it back up so that we can get this car on the road soon. And then we're going to add the tip. All right, so let's go ahead and keep going. All right, so after many hours and many trips back to the auto parts store, I finally finished the exhaust. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start it up, check for any leaks, and then we can take it out for a drive. I think this exhaust tip looks really good. All right, so I just sprayed some soapy water to check for any leaks, and I am not seeing any at all, which is a great sign. All right, let's take this thing out for a drive.